Thank you, Chairman. Secretary Fox, as you know, New Hampshire was recently welcomed the news that we received the TIFIA loan, a $200 million TIFIA loan, and thank you for that, for the I-93 improvement project, which will widen 19.8 miles of Interstate 93 from 2 to 4 lanes between our largest city, Manchester, and to Salem, New Hampshire, which is right on the New Hampshire-Massachusetts border. So this is really important to our state's economy and to transportation in New Hampshire, so thank you for that. Under the FAST Act, there was established the National Surface Transportation and Innovative Finance Bureau to help streamline the application process for states and local entities applying for and obtaining federal financing or assistance for large surface transportation projects. I know you briefly mentioned in your written statement DOT's work to get the Bureau up and running, but I wanted to, could you please provide a detailed update for the committee regarding the department's work to implement the National Surface Transportation and Innovative Finance Bureau? And have you been able to identify an executive director yet? And do you expect the Bureau will be operational by the end of the year?
On the last question first, yes, I do expect it to be operational by the end of the year. We expect to open the doors of this new Bureau in the middle part of the summer. And we actually have already gone through a pretty extensive exercise at identifying some of our existing resources, human and otherwise, that could be placed into to the Bureau immediately. So this will be a steady ramping up over the course of the year, but it will start very strong middle part of the summer. In terms of the executive director, we have a solicitation out for an executive director. We're hopeful to get that person onboarded before the end of the year.
Great. And once you get this up and running, and I'm glad to hear that's moving quickly, how would you, thinking about this Bureau over the long term, how would you envision the Bureau supporting the work of our states and communities in moving forward with larger projects like I-93?
Yes, I think one of the biggest things that the Bureau is going to do is to bring our innovative financing resources under one roof, and there'll be kind of one-stop shopping for the project sponsors at the state and local level, as well as the private sector. In addition to that, you will find that projects that are moving within the Bureau are going to have a level, almost a Sherpa kind of level of support as they move through other aspects of the project delivery, including the permitting and other phases that have to be
I'm sure
worked
states
through.
would like to have a Sherpa. That would be great.
Absolutely. So I expect this is going to be a very successful effort. We have some very good early experience with the Build America Transportation Center that the President authorized us to do, and we're going to keep building on it with the Bureau.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to follow up, too. There have been health and safety concerns that have been raised related to the flammability standards for children's car seats, and wondered if you were aware of these concerns and what's being done to address them.
So NHTSA's safety standard for flammability currently does not require flame retardants. The flammability standard aims to afford adequate time for caregivers to help children escape a vehicle in the event of a fire. And we know that about 194,000 vehicle fires occur annually in the U.S., resulting in 300 fatalities and 1,250 injuries. And of these, 20 fatalities and 25 injuries are children. We know also that foams used in child seats and vehicle seats can exacerbate a vehicle fire. Therefore, child seat materials like motor vehicle seat materials are required to prevent flames from spreading. NHTSA is initiating research today to better understand and evaluate the issues involved in this area, including flammability requirements and flame retardants for child restraints, and so that work is ongoing.
Very good. And I only have a brief period left, but wanted to follow up. One of the amendments I had on the FAST Act was focused on additional steps for NHTSA to take to support states and emphasizing the public dangers of drug-impaired driving. And in New Hampshire, we're just seeing, as we are in other places in the country, a heroin epidemic, an opiate epidemic. And I know that the data from the National Roadside Survey has recently shown that there actually has been an increase. Now, that data goes from 2007 to 2013 and 14. But if New Hampshire's any measure, we're seeing even from 14 up like this. So any brief thoughts on, what we can do in terms of NHTSA's action and DOT thinking about drug-impaired driving and the challenges we're facing with it?
We actually, this is on our radar screen. There is a lot of activity going on to study drug-impaired driving. I think the hardest nut for us to crack is going to be how do you set a standard? You have a standard for alcohol, for instance, but how would you?
And how do you measure it?
Exactly. This is work and research that is ongoing, but you have it on my word that we will work as expeditiously as we can to get answers.
Excellent. Thank you.